kind of helped me understand like I don't gotta change who I am depending on who I'm around. And just that experience right there taught me that. Cause after a week, I was the popular kid in school. Like,
Absolutely.
oh, that's the new kid from Baltimore.
Right.
Once you say Baltimore,
Difference.
we have a very brash approach, and it can throw people off that's not used to it.
Right.
So for us, it's like, don't come at me with say what you are, say what it is, be direct. They don't know how to deal with that, and honestly, we respect that.
Absolutely.
Because if we do feel like you've been timid or soft or beating around the bush, we don't even want to be around you. Like, and so it was an adjustment for me. Like the second time I went to LA, first time it was whatever. Like it was just out there, but that second time I was like, man, y'all some.
But you in LA in what 14, 15 or 15, 16?
16. I was out there. I was 16.
So what year is that?
2006.
2006. We the same age.
No. I was 15. I went out there in 2005.
05?
Yeah. What's that? 05 06, one of them. It was a long time ago.
Circa 5, 6.
Yeah. One of them.
So I mean, what's kind of on your mind at this time? Like, you said you weren't really big on the school situation. Like,
so I got locked up. And my mother was like, "You going to California with your father?"
That's why you had to go to California.
That's why I had to go.
Okay.
So for me, I'm like, it's not really a punishment, but sure, I'll play this game with y'all. Dad live on the beach.
Damn, I gotta go to Cali. Oh man, when I leave.
It was literally like that. And on my mind at that time, I wanted to go out there because I wanted to play ball. Cause my school, I would have played against Matt Barkley. I would have played against Deshaun Jackson. And I'm like, I want to play against those guys. And my dad didn't let me play. As punishment. It's punishment.
So the punishment came just when you got there.
When I had my cleats and the way he told me, I get out the plane, we go back to the house. I got my cleats, and he's like, "What you got those for?" I'm like, "What you talking about?"
What you mean?
Yeah. What you talking about? What you mean by? He's like, "You're not using them." Like what? He like, "You not playing football. Like you're not out here for that. Like this is a punishment." I'm like, bruh, this is my junior year. You ain't gonna let me play. Like me and my father ain't talked for a while. I'm still mad at him about that. I ain't gonna lie, I'm still mad. He know I am.
Yeah, I feel you.
But yeah, so once he did that's how I played. Like that's how I played lacrosse though, because I went and snuck and played lacrosse. All American on the team. He
okay, that's wild. I got you.
Yeah, snuck and played lacrosse.
No, I got you. Now I'm gonna bring it back forward in a minute. I'm gonna bring it back full circle.
But yeah, the All American. They had an All American on the team. Eric Crum. He ended up going to Salisbury. He was just rapping, and he was like, "Oh, where you from?" I was like, "Baltimore." He's like, "You don't play lacrosse?" I was like, "I know how to play. I know the game, but nah, I ain't never played before." He's like, "Come on, come to the team meeting. We having our first team meeting today. I introduce you to the coach." Literally went and was on the team. I ain't tell my father nothing. He just think.
It ain't football or basketball.
Yeah.
You're definitely not playing. You know what I mean? You're not a soccer player.
So yeah, my father ain't know. I think I ain't tell him for like a week, and then my coach, one of the assistant coaches, was real tight with my dad.
Oh yeah.
So he kind of helped because he told my dad like, nah, like he can play, like let him play, like he can play. So that's how that worked out.
It's wild as shit.
That's how that worked out.
You just gave me the knowledge as to why certain things are the way they are now.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you're in 11th grade. You go to California in Manhattan Beach. So being out there and in that circumstance, once you get embedded to that, once you in the spring and you playing lacrosse, now the summer is coming. What was the decision to go back home? Like,
so I never made it to the spring. I was out there from June till November.
Okay.
I only did a quarter out there, and my mom and my dad got into it about because I fractured my ankle, and my father still made me go to school the next day. So my mother was pissed. Like she,
Mom love.
yeah, mom love type shit. So I had nothing to do with what they talked about. So it came down to like my father came home was like, what you want to do? You want to stay or you want to go? And I was homesick.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see my peoples.
Yeah.
And we just he felt a certain way that I wanted to go home, but he didn't. I feel like we never had a good enough conversation about that. That I just wanted to see my peoples. Like I got shipped. Like I was punished. I got locked up in April. I was punished. As soon as school was over, I was in California. Like a lot of my homeboys didn't even know I was gone. They coming to my house, yo, where you at? Bro, I'm in Cali. What? Why you in Cali? I live out here. Like, so it was, you 16, you missing your homies, you missing your family. So, me and him never had that conversation as to like why. I was being a brat and was just on some like, I'll go home. Like if you coming at me like that about it, like I'll just go home. And I went home. And I kind of wish I didn't, but I'm glad I did because as much as the opportunities I know I would have created out there, I don't know what type of person I would have been if I stayed out there.
Absolutely.
And like coming back home Baltimore keep me grounded. I tell people that all the time. Like Baltimore, I don't want to live here. I don't want to be here forever, but it keeps me grounded. I will always come back because it levels me out. And that's what happened. That's how I ended up back in Maryland. So
as a senior.
No, I was still a junior.
Well, you were still a junior?
Yep.
Yeah, you were still so it's a quarter, so you come back in the middle of the year.
Yeah, I came back in the middle of the year. I went back to school.
What high school you go to when you came back?
So I was supposed to go to Franklin.
And where'd you wind up going?
Back to Randallstown.
You think that was better? That was better at the time for you to go to Randallstown, or
no?
You think you'd have been better off going to Franklin?
Yes.
Okay. Why?
Because I wanted to play ball.
Okay.
My mind was I was trying to figure out how to play ball. Like that was where my mind, like how can I, but I didn't want to play ball enough to like, I didn't want to do the extra stuff like weight training, all that. Like, the extra stuff that you got to do to really be.
You're more alike than you think.
Yeah. like me, I was like, man, I could play. Like, who we playing? All right. Like I was that type.
Yeah.
I didn't really put that. That's why I admire high school athletes, like to have that discipline at that age. It's not easy.
What I'm saying, but do you think that's because you didn't have maybe, the example? Like, because I always say it like this, put it like this. So I went to Chesapeake in Anne Arundel County, like all white school, whatever the case may be. I got my homeboys, KP, my man Reed, all of them. They playing natural ability. It's all bad. Just regular basketball. Ain't nobody working out. Ain't nobody putting out no 200, 300 shots. We just going to play pickup all this, that, the third. Not no too many weights or whatever. I don't see none of them doing that. Never seen my brother do none of that. Never seen none of my homeboys doing any of that. So to see or to hear about a guy committing to weights in high school, bro, that's like foreign territory to us.
No, you're right. And you actually hit it on the nose because none of my homeboys, I'm trying to think who was dedicated. Like,
listen. One of your homeboys and I got the same thing. Even though in my immediate circle, at the time, I felt like I was the best of a man. KP was. None of your friends, even the best one, did that shit.
No, we didn't. I didn't meet dedicated players until I did media.
Exactly.
I'll say that because even like the older guys that played football, lacrosse, basketball. Like basketball, I was up there from 04 to 08. We went to the States 4 years straight.
Right.
Every year, like Tion was up there.
Yeah, Randallstown was up there when I was up there.
None of them niggas.
Just ball.
They was just hoopers. Like
ball.
They was just straight hoopers. So you kind of hit it on the nose on that. And then you gotta think social media wasn't out back then, so you wasn't saying what the next dude was doing.
Nah.
You was just like, I'm a CEO on the court,
exactly.
and we'll figure it out then.
Exactly.
That's how it was back then. And I think now the fact that dudes get to see what if I'm number one or if I'm number two and the number one player is in Kentucky, I can go look and see what he's doing. Whereas before, you never knew what he was doing. You don't know what kind of workouts he doing. You don't know his numbers. You don't know nothing about him. You just know he ahead of you.
Absolutely.
That's all you know. So now they can see all that. So it's like it gives them a little bit more drive to go do the extra, I would say.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, nah.
And it's funny you say the drive. It's like, to be honest, it's like you might not even have to have the drive if you just got a sense of direction.
That yeah.
Like if I knew listen.
Sports parents today are much better,
Man, come on.
than what they were.
Way more acclimated.
Yeah.
Like even from
Just
a
so much more,
stand,
just so much more information out
yeah,
there.
for sure. Because before, at a certain point, it was more so like a marketing thing. You would catch the parent that just want to sport their kid out and pimp their kid out, essentially. But now these parents know the marketing. They know their kid got to get to a certain level physically. They know the team they got to have them on. All of that goes into play, and all of that comes from exposure. When we was coming up at the time, 06, 7, 8, that was the very beginning of it. Because LeBron was 4 years out, being 3 years out of high school. He was the beginning, seriously. Like he was the beginning of the YouTube era and all of that. So,
and the thing, he wasn't really on YouTube.
and that's the thing, the nigga wasn't even really on there. You feel me? Like,
If you wanted to see LeBron, you had to hope ESPN would put his game on.
bingo. So now, I'm only saying that to piggyback off your point. It's like you wasn't interested in the weights. You weren't interested in the extra work, and that might be because you weren't exposed to it.
That it could have been, cause I didn't. The competition was on the field. It wasn't in the weight room.
Absolutely.
It was on the field. Like so, for me, I wasn't having those moments where it was like, oh, I need to go in the weight room. It was never that. You know, from like I went to Maryland. I went to Maryland camp. Maryland used to have these football camps, and that's when I like kind of like, oh, I can play a little bit.
And that's when they did the 7-on-7s and shit.
Yeah,
like that.
so
I
like
remember that.
I was a sophomore, and who was up there? Went to McDonough real fast. Ended up playing for the Steelers. Went to Maryland. What's his name? He was a 5-star receiver though. His name gonna come to me. He was there, and I got to watch him. Like when I say torching dudes with 2 routes, 2 routes. That's all he ran was 2. He ran a high post, and he ran a go. Nobody could guard him. Nobody could guard him. For real, like literally nobody could guard him. Like that experience as a 10th grader, seeing high level. That was my first time seeing like high level talent. But for me, I ended up being one of the top 10th graders in my class. I played corner. So we ended up getting to play with the seniors. It was like 5 of us.
Right.
So I got to play against these dudes who was going to college, and I was like, and at the end of it, I'm like, yo, y'all good, but y'all not making me feel like I can't play with y'all.
Right.
And I'm a 10th grader, and they were doing weights. I didn't see them doing weights, but at the end of the day, I was just all they was doing. We would play. We had practice 3 times a day. All they was doing. Go to practice, come back in the room, play the game all day. Go to practice, come back in the room, play the game all day. Mind you, all these dudes going to D1 schools.
D1 schools.
So to not see them in the weight room, you hear the coaches saying it, oh, you getting the weight, but if you're not seeing your competitors do it,
Right.
it's like, do I really got to do it? He not doing it. He just nice.
Right.
Like,
So. I feel you on that, 1,000%. So 12th grade is here at this point.
12th grade, I was straight lacrosse.
12th grade, that you was just straight lacrosse.
Straight lacrosse.
Even at Randallstown.
Straight lacrosse.
Okay, so just forget football at this point.
Yeah, I ain't even want to play no more.
Don't want to play no more.
After that whole experience with my pops, and then I didn't end up I wanted to go to Franklin. I really, really, really wanted to go to Franklin, and I didn't get into Franklin. I was like, I don't even want to play no more.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, senior year was just straight lacrosse.
Bro, you know how do you understand how crazy that is though? Like, because going to California, bro, you wouldn't have played lacrosse after that.
Nah.
Seriously, like think about that.
I wouldn't have tried it. I'll say
you
that.
wouldn't even have thought about it.
Yeah.
But that one little piece of exposure
Yep.
had you in a whole different lane and going to play lacrosse. And you know what's so funny? Like, and I know you know this now, but Maryland is the biggest state in the country in lacrosse.
And
ain't nobody in the country better than Maryland players in lacrosse.
That's what made them want me to play.
You see them? And when your man asked you, do you play? I wanted to ask you too. Did you recognize why he asked you that
At
the time?
at the time, no.
No, but you do now
I
because
do.
you know.
Yeah, like at the
Bro,
time,
that's
no.
wild.
And I only knew lacrosse because of Kyle Harrison.
Okay.
Like he went to Hopkins.
Yeah.
He's like that. To me, he's the AI of lacrosse.
Yeah, no, for sure. I know.
To see what he was doing on the lacrosse field, it was
Yeah,
like
it was different.
I want to play. Like he make that shit look crazy. Like it looked fun. So,
Different. So
that he was the only, and you know he was a black player in a white sport.
yeah,
Representation means everything.
absolutely.
So
Man, you in 12th grade, you starting this off and you playing this. Outside of that, did the journalism kick in like full swing yet, or was it just you still kind of figuring it out?
Still wasn't a thing. Fan eye still wasn't a thing.